Hello and welcome to Tribal Council Survivor Chat. We're here, we're ready to go and talk about last night's interesting episode of Survivor.
I think we are the true survivors right now.
We are.
I know.
I just read your name, JP. Nick Budinsky. Poor Nick. Was it just editing, or was he really just nobody wanted to talk to him and he came in at the last second? And
I don't know. Maybe it was just editing. He just happened to be doing that. But
well, do you blame him? I mean, do you blame him for going over? And if no one's talking to you, you got to know you have to know what's going on.
He was definitely a little paranoid.
You just make yourself busy just walking around and just kind of like moseying around people as they're talking, just weaving around, checking it all out. Yeah,
I'd be worried if I saw a group of 4 or 5 people and I'm not part of that group. I'm like going, because that's a good voting block.
Especially if there's somebody in that group that you think you're in a group with.
Right. Which I think he thought.
Why are
they talking to that person?
He should have planned ahead and put up little spy shacks everywhere, and this wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, it's true. He wasn't thinking like Tony.
That's right.
Tony's not thinking like Tony.
But we had an extended version of Edge of Extinction last night, and quite a challenge, I thought.
Yeah, it's a good one. They've done that before. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I really thought Rob was going to come back and pull it out.
I did too.
Tyson goes back.
Tyson. Oh, wow.
But, now seeing what the challenge was, okay, and all Sandra had to do was stay for 3 days, 4 days. Do you think this is something she could have? First of all, let me ask, do you think this was a fair challenge where everybody had really an equal opportunity to try to come back? Or do you think that there was going to be the Tyson and the Rob front runners? It doesn't matter. Let me just throw up the white flag and get out of here.
Well, I don't think she wouldn't have had an advantage, so she would have had to dig for the bag. Mm-hmm. And the people who dug for the bag weren't even in it; they weren't even close.
Yeah.
Yul did.
And I guess he was close.
He made up a lot of time. I mean, if he'd had an advantage, he probably could have been right there with them. But
now, did I miss the part where how did Danny have an advantage? Was it the log carrying thing when they had to do
Yes.
But
everyone got a token.
But Amber gave her token to
Rob.
Right. That's why she didn't have an advantage.
Right.
They hedged their bets that let's pull them together. Who has a better shot? Which is smart.
Yeah.
Good on them to see that he has a better shot, probably.
And give her credit for not quitting, but she's also going to be part of the jury if he gets back in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they're all in the jury, right?
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of old schoolers on that jury.
Yep.
So this could be a Tyson Rob gets back in and they win it.
So see, that's a reason for Sandra not to quit. She would have been part of the jury.
Yeah, I don't think she cared. I don't want to say she's selfish, but in a way, I guess she is.
I don't know. It just seems like unfinished business. It's like if you decide to go back out there again, then just ride it to the end. You don't have to super perform. It's no big deal. You've been out there. You can hang out a couple days. No one.
She definitely has taken a hit. I've seen at least 40% of the people are bitter towards her.
But she also has nothing at this point. She has nothing to prove. In her mind, and a lot of the people who watch the show, regardless of what she did, she's going to always walk away as the queen.
No, not to me.
Yeah?
Not to me. To me, it's like, well, maybe she got lucky those 2 times then. Maybe people drug her along as a goat to the end. Who knows?
Right.
Say Denise or Sophie wins. They played twice. They've won twice. They could make an argument that they're the queen.
Correct.
The king. Either however you want to put it.
So especially Denise, since she took Sandra out.
Right. And Sophie, I think, is playing a fantastic game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking last night. Jeremy and Sophie have the same game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Both under the radar, don't like to make waves. I think Jeremy's had the tougher path to get to the merge than Sophie because his team was terrible. He went to more tribal councils.
I think Jeremy has a bigger target on his back too because on appearances he looks the bigger threat.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
So while they're playing the same game, I think he has make more of an uphill battle on that than she does.
Now, do you think with Tyson coming back in, and to me, it felt like he kind of, even though he's an old school player, it's almost like he rebonded with these people where he's not really a target at this point. Do you think
he doesn't seem to have a problem with being social with people?
No, he's that's one of his strengths. It's always been social. I mean, he's always had an edge to him, but he's because that's what made him a villain. But he knows how to play people, and I don't know how he wasn't the. I'll say I don't know how if he got in, I would have voted him right back out.
Well, he was. I mean, and he was smart. And there was that one conversation he was having where he was talking about, let's target the people that are just kind of sitting back. I think he referred to them as the sleepers.
Yeah, which was smart.
That's very, very smart. Put them out there and leave it as a competitive game.
Because now you have to start thinking about, because the merge is always you start thinking out, all right, who can I beat? Mm-hmm. And who can't I beat? You have to go with the vote. I mean, you can't, there's still 12 people left. You can't just, but you have to start thinking that. And I think most of those players probably can't beat Tyson in a final three. I don't think they can.
Not with all the old school players on the jury.
No.
That's what I was going to ask is, do you think with it being Tyson as the player who came back, and let's say at the next attempt to come back in, one of the new school players comes in. Do you think it's going to really fall on how many old school votes there are versus how many new school votes there are? Or do you think an old school player on the jury is going to respect a new school?
I think it depends because a lot of those old school players have been on edge of extinction for a while, and it's tough. I mean, it's not something where it's not a picnic to be over there. And I thought they did a good job of saying it last night, telling the people that haven't been there yet. Yeah, it's no picnic over there. It's rough. We have to, it's not a lot of fun to be here.
Right.
Be there. So I think that helps their case if they get back in the game. I mean, there's the sleeping arrangements are terrible. The food, you have to go hiking to get your food. Water's probably the same way. So
they didn't show them during the rain that they were having on the beach. Like, what's it like? They don't even really have shelter on that island. There's not really tree coverage or anything they can get under when it's raining like that and it's cold rain,
No. Well, I go to the shelter and you see that the shelters has holes in the roof, and it's just like, what do you do all day? I guess sitting around, but to me, I would at least have 3 walls.
Right.
I'd at least have 3 walls and something hanging down, because there wasn't a dry spot for them. It's like someone said, well, maybe someone will buy a tarp or something like that. Get as many
as you can, yeah.
Palm tree leaves as you can, and you're literally it's an hour or 2 a day.
Well, I also always wonder, and I don't know if they've ever covered this a long time, or maybe I forgot and they just never talk about it. How do they decide which beach they're going to use when they merge? How does production decide that? Is there like a coin toss? Is there some sort of...
Maybe it's the one that has the most fruit or food around it. Maybe it's the one that's easier to film.
I would guess that would probably be...
Or maybe it's the one closest to where the production is.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's good. That's a good question, but I just was watching the rain going, you sat here all day long doing nothing.
But weren't they talking about, we got to swing over there and work on your shelter.
That's great. You got to swing. Well, you looked at them. Sophie looked like she was going to die.
Oh, and she was shivering?
Yeah, she was blue and she was,
Yeah, I think in that situation, I think it's warmer when you get actually in the water. If you're just staying in the water.
Yeah.
I think it's actually warmer than the rain falling on you and just,
yeah,
the wind too. But when they were standing out there before the challenge all lined up, oh yeah, that's miserable.
Let me ask you this though, Jack. You've been quarantined for about 2 weeks like the rest of us. How many home improvements have you done?
I finished my studio. So
well, number one, there are no holes in your roof.
No, there's not. We just had our roof replaced, so that helps because it got ripped off during a storm.
So not a fair comparison, JP.
Okay.
Again, too, I'm not supposed to be going out getting supplies.
Right.
for
I agree.
the house. I mean, there's projects I could do,
Right.
but again, do I risk it? Do I go to Home Depot? I'm gonna do some stuff this weekend because I have the stuff. I have some paint and stuff I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna go and risk getting the virus to make you happy, JP. Rose said, I think they picked the one that most built up for production value.
See, I don't understand why nobody has argued, hey, let's go to that beach. There's a nice 2-story shelter waiting for us.
Yeah. Sunshine Breeze says, window swing is a curse, LOL, according to Abby Maria.
Why was it a curse? Who built the swing last time?
I don't know.
Remember that one that was like overdone and had the swing and everything in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One Rob did?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, they got to. Yeah, wasn't that last season where they got to spend the remainder of it in Rob and Sandra's shelter?
Yeah, and they had a swing.
They had a
and there were like plank walkways going everywhere, and they had to look for clues and stuff. Okay.
Right. Mike C said, Miami Mike says, we're just like all survivors now with no toilet paper. And then I guess essentially she said, whoever sat in it goes home in the swing.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be watching to see if someone sits in it.
She said so many things, it's hard to keep track of everything Abby Maria said.
She has a lot to say.
Yeah, she's a fiery person. So yeah, Tyson gets back in the game. Not even mention that they should vote him out. That we saw. I mean, I'm sure there was people like, "What about Tyson?" But even Tyson said, he goes, "I'm like, I would vote me. First thing I do is vote me out because if I get my roots planted, I'm not going anywhere." He always thinks
he's the most dangerous player, which is great. But he's his own best, biggest fan. So
actually, he definitely has an ego.
Yeah. Do you think I don't know. Is it one of those? Because if they listen to what Jeff said, there'll be another challenge with another player that gets to come back in. So if you're the rest of that tribe and you're looking at Tyson and you're going, okay, in so many more days, another one's going to come. When you really want to get rid of Tyson right away?
Yeah, because odds are it's going to be Rob.
Or somebody else that they can work together, whoever it is, So, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give them another person they can absolutely work with.
Plus, you send Tyson back just so he can help to keep Rob. I mean, who's got the best chance of beating Rob right now? Tyson.
True.
So, or Natalie. I mean, Natalie could win depending on what kind of advantage she has. I mean, it depends on who gets the biggest advantage in the next game, but it depends on what the challenge is also.
But also thinking way ahead to the jury vote, if you keep Tyson on the beach, that's one less old school player in the jury.
Well, they're all going to be in the jury at some point, though, except the last three.
If you start sending the new school players over there, that'll tip the scale.
But you don't want to have Tyson go to final three.
Mm-mm.
Because he's going to get all. I mean, if it's old school versus new school, all the old school are going to, and he just needs a couple of the.
Which I really hate that it's kind of come down to that now.
Obviously we'll see how they vote at the end, but if we're talking old school votes old school and new school votes new school,
that's lame. You know what I mean? Because both groups have amazing players. Great players, so players,
right?
But the thing with the Edge of Extinction, like that one guy, I can't remember who won, is that he was with them for a while, right? So these guys a lot of these people have been together since. Well, Natalie's been there since the third day. So you build a. It's not like with Ponderosa where you're there, and it's just towards the end of the game. You're there. You're suffering together. So
influencing each other, telling each other all the ins and outs that you saw before you got voted out. Oh yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think that Tyson knows stuff that happened from them telling him before he went back in?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
Wouldn't they?
Yeah,
So
I
this
would think
next
they
one
would.
will have even more stuff. But,
No, I would vote him out right away. Sunshine Breeze says, I think Tyson will get voted out next couple of episodes because he can't help himself trying to make a big move. He's too dangerous to take deep into the game. I agree. Miami Mike says Tyson is seen as being just by himself. Nowhere is you want to target groups 3 and 4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
yes, I agree also, because it's one of those situations where some of those people have been with their, because they just merged, so they got their people, but they're looking for who can I swing. If you can't swing the other two tribes, then that Tyson is somebody you think you might be able to swing and bring him in to vote with you.
Right.
Still, I wouldn't. It's just dangerous keeping him around.
And it could be another one of those things where they just take it for granted that, they'll be ready to vote him out at any point. I don't have to make a big case for him right now, because that'll be easy to make that case later.
GB says Tyson has guaranteed himself 7 jury votes because of the old school players on edge. I think he'll be gone in 2 episodes. It could be. But he could also get back in the game.
Yeah.
Because he could win the challenge again and get back into the game.
I was going to say, yeah, that would almost even be a surefire win for him to get sent back over to the edge and then win his way back in.
I still say that the best way is to come in second from the edge of extinction, because you have less time. You have less time to, you don't have to play the game as much.
See, I wasn't sold on the idea that they would split it in 2 challenges. I kept thinking, look, they're going to just do one, right? But to do them separate again like that, exactly the same way, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess Jack was right.
Well, actually, Colleen's the one that said it, so I stole it from Colleen.
So yeah, so you'd want to be that second person in, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Except then that's a gamble there too, because now you miss out on those days of possibly making connections.
True, with the people on there. But again, it actually worked out for Tyson, like I said, because he didn't even get mentioned in the vote. So and these people again, yeah, I said Jeremy. I think they made the right move getting rid of Wendell, because it cut the legs off Jeremy, but Jeremy actually voted for Wendell.
And when they were reading the votes, there was Michelle looking surprised, or a little bit like because he was getting voted out. It was like, God, why did you think you were going to work with him?
I still think that maybe they had a pre-game alliance that it's like, because people are, even though it ended badly, I think they had to play
that badly. Maybe that's the thing.
Or they had to play it, because if I'm in the game and I go, well, they used to date,
right?
And Wendell's a smart player, and Michelle has been pretty smart this season. I'm thinking we got to act like we don't like each other.
That's what I wondered. If they're like, maybe they're not best friends hanging out, but it's like,
no,
they're all right. But they get in there, but they're like, we can't let people know we're all right.
No, because you look what happened to Amber right away. She wasn't the biggest threat, but she was kicked out. Why? Because she's married to Rob, and these players are smart that they don't let. And you've seen it a lot in the last couple seasons. Anytime someone gets a power couple or starts flirting with each other,
right?
They kick them. They vote one of them out.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that they talked about it before they went and said, "Hey, look, if we get on the same tribe or something happens, we got to act like
we're surprised to even see each other here. We're not happy about it.
Right?
No way we're going to work together."
Because to me, Wendell was out of character. I don't remember him being that big of a jerk, that obnoxious. I mean, maybe the money went to his head. I don't know, but.
Unless when he cheated on her, he really regrets it, and he really still does really like her. Do you know what I mean? And
did he cheat on her?
But that was allegedly what happened. Yeah,
okay.
Huh? Allegedly?
Allegedly. He could be watching.
Right.
But like I said, if I'm going into a game and I have my ex-girlfriend over there, hey, we got to play this like we just don't like. There's no way we're working together. But she obviously had no idea how the vote was going, because she was completely.
No, and she looked surprised and not happy about it.
Yeah. Because it was her, Nick, and Wendell voted for Adam. Everybody else voted for Wendell.
Oh my God! And Adam getting so emotional last night.
Yeah.
I felt bad for that kid. Oh well.
Let's see. Sunshine Breeze says, "Did you all notice that Jeremy said, 'I think Wendell is good for me,' but he quickly said, 'good for us' when talking to Ben and Tony."
Right, and Tony, it was like over his head. When someone said, "Hey, I think we should wear out Wendell," Tony was like, "Do you think so?" Like that. I'm really surprised Tony didn't grab onto that. Like, you know.
Well, Tony's not making waves, but he wants to keep as many strong players as possible. But then they vote out Wendell.
I thought it was also really quite kind of funny when the four guys are talking and they're talking about how they're the strong ones and they're the ones that they stick together because they're like, you know, and Ben's like, yeah, we are. But no, Ben, no, you're not. No, you're not. You haven't done really very much this season.
Yeah, how can you overlook Sophie, Sarah, and Kim, who's had no alliance in the beginning, and she's still there. So you got three off the top of my head. There's three strong women that could win this game. Again, Kim is just playing way under the radar.
Yeah,
so. I think I personally like the way that they're playing, and even for as goofy as Tony is. Okay, yeah, he built that stupid ladder. He was doing entertaining with foot races. But like Tony has like he's mellowed out where it's like he's playing now and he's just not putting the attention on himself. Right. And the same with Kim. Like Kim is playing, but she's not running around in panic mode or anything like that.
Well, she doesn't have to because remember the beginning. Nobody would. I mean, Sandra did a good job of freezing her out. Just like we're not even going to have her in the game. But now it's the merge, and now was it 11 players left now? 12, 11, whatever it is, off the top of my head. She's not even getting votes. I mean, she's not even mentioned in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Her name's not even coming up. So again, do you want to take a player like that to the finals? I think Denise made a huge mistake yesterday by kind of bragging about how she took out the queen. I'm like, oh yeah, I said, Denise, shh. So I didn't put her.
She had a drink into her, and she was just like, "Hey, let me tell you a story."
Yeah, yeah. I took her out. It was all me. I took her out. I would have said, "Yeah." I go, just made a decision and got lucky. And
I would have just smiled and nodded and let everybody else pat me on the back.
That's something you say for your final three.
Exactly.
Well, big means this is the move I made, and you tell it like that.
Yeah.
But you don't do it when they're at start of the merge. Luckily, she won immunity because I think she'd been gone.
I was just going to ask that. I agree.
Oh yeah, she totally put a target on her back.
Yeah, because the people said, "Well, she's already built her resume."
Yes. Yeah, I know. I really do think they're sitting there eating and they're drinking, and I think she got a little too.
That's why you got to stay away from that alcohol.
Yeah.
Especially you're not eating right, and you're not because information is
2 sips and you're woohoo.
Information can be the worst thing out there if you're giving up. You're talking too much, and I just like Denise, shut up, shh, Denise, be quiet. But she won the challenge, and so did Jeremy. Did you like the stare that Jeremy gave to Nick? When it was just them,
turn away.
He goes, "You're going to fall off that pole."
Jeremy's still real strong.
So, it's the stare everybody in New Jersey gives you when you pull up at a red light.
No, JP, you're never supposed to make eye contact. You just eyes forward. You never look left or right. You just.
Well, I want to see if anybody's looking before I start picking.
Oh, okay.
All right, Seinfeld.
Sophie said, Mike says Sophie's really getting a good winner's edit. I hope not. I think we've actually seen stuff out of her that hasn't just been, why is that there? Why do we care what she thinks? Which was the winner's edit the first time.
Yeah, her first game was, if I remember correctly, she played pretty much under the radar. It's like you didn't think she was going to, and all of a sudden, boom, she won. She's
Well,
playing.
no, all of a sudden it was about halfway through because they never did their tribal. And it was about halfway through after the merge. All of a sudden they start showing confessionals of her. And it was like, but she didn't have anything. But she was not like.
But she wasn't getting blood. She wasn't getting blood on her hand. She wasn't making big. She was almost like
she wasn't making any moves at all, or strategizing or plotting.
Well, she's the one that said we need to get Wendell out to knock Jeremy down. Right. But she didn't. She just told one person, and she lets the other people go. And I think that's the way to do it. And Jeremy plays the same game. Yeah. For the most part, like yesterday, he was a little more aggressive. Maybe it could be because he had the idol, but it could come down between Sophie and Jeremy. And right now, I'd give it to Jeremy just because he had like I said earlier, he had the tougher road. He's been on the bottom of the alliance. He's and he made a good move on the merge where they split up the three tribes. So I think he's had the tougher road because Sophie hasn't been to as many tribal councils as Jeremy. Yeah. So we'll see. But as of now, all the players left. Who are your top three picks to get to final three?
I'm going to say, I want Denise up there, but she did such a big move. Everybody's got to be smart enough to realize they got to get rid of her.
Plus, she won the first challenge.
Right. I think I don't want to pick like somebody who's really standing out there as a very strong player right now. So I would say when the smoke clears, it's going to be like a Kim, Tony, and Sarah.
You think Tony makes it to final three?
I don't know. I just have a feeling about him. I think the way he plays, where they realize, just like how goofy he is, that side of him, that's like the Philip Shepard where you could just bring him along and think he's just not going to, he's not going to be a threat when it comes to jury.
He's a good talker, though.
Yeah, but does anybody ever really believe him when he's talking? Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Like he can say a lot of stuff, but if they're just kind of like rolling their eyes, like, okay, it's just Tony being Tony. You know what I mean? He's not. If he can't convince people, doesn't matter how many words he has.
So your final three were Denise, Tony, and Kim.
No, I would say Tony, Kim, and Sarah.
Sarah, who wins it?
Either Sarah and Kim.
Dude, that's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That is a hard one. I don't know.
I mean, the reason I pick those is I just think everybody else is like gunning for each other already.
Yeah.
And nobody's really talking about Sarah, Kim, or Tony.
How long until Sarah cuts the legs out from Sophie? Because remember, she did that with who gave her? What was her name? When she was playing, she did a good move. She got the advantage by cutting. What's her name? Blonde haired girl. Anyway, Sarah is a smart player too. So her and Sophie have an alliance, but up to a certain point, so Sarah's going to go. Who cuts whose legs out first? That's.
Oh, see, I was going to say in my final three, I have them going together because I think that they would keep each other, and I think they would take like a Nick with them. Just to
I would want to go. I would want to go with Sophie to the finals.
I don't know that Sarah will recognize that though. Sarah is there's another one of those that has made comments this season that we've seen where she thinks she's a really good player. She thinks she's a better player than I think she is. Do you know what I mean?
But she played. It was Sarah Sunshine Breeze's Sarah Dawn Thomas. That's who it was, and she was able to get the advantage from her. Yeah. And she voted her, and she led the way to vote her out, and she was able to get the challenge from her. So I think Sarah's a better player than you're giving her credit for.
I'm not saying she's a bad player. That's not what I'm saying.
You just don't think she's a great player.
No. I think she thinks she's a better player than she is, and sometimes that gets in your head, and then you make the wrong moves because you assume. You look at Sophie, and she's going, Sophie's smart, but she's sitting there getting confident, thinking, "Oh, I got this. I got a way better resume than Sophie." I mean, who knows what she's telling herself?
Right.
That's all I meant by that.
What if Boston Rob gets back into it?
Well, then he has to win the whole thing. That's all there is to it.
I mean, he could easily make a run and win the last few challenges.
Every challenge becomes a puzzle challenge.
Yeah. Well, he's good on the physical challenges too, and he is good at the puzzle challenges. So
maybe they'll do a scavenger hunt where you just have to run around and look for little pouches of coins.
Plus, he's got enough tokens that he can probably buy an idol when he gets back.
Well, that's what he said when at the very beginning of the episode,
yes.
when Amber gives her idol, he says he uses one idol or one token for the advantage, the other 3 for an idol. And somebody else said that too. Was that Natalie? Who else had 4? Was that
Natalie has 4.
2 of them did the same thing. So then I wondered to myself, so they were not knowing there was going to be 2, because why would they use all their fire tokens right straight away?
Right.
Right? You'd use an advantage now and then think, well, I'm going to keep one because there'll be another one. I'll need an advantage for that one too. But they straight did theirs. So then is that the idol's still good? But if they don't get back in the game, it don't matter if they bought an idol.
Right. But I guess if you get back in the game, especially someone like Rob, he's going to need an idol.
Oh, for sure.
Just to give him the cushion. If I don't win, well, I got to play the idol.
Right. No, he has to have it. And that's what I also wondered. I wondered when Tyson came back in, if they were going to do like you can't vote him out. He's immune from the very first tribal, just to kind of give him a chance to rebond. But they didn't do that.
No, they didn't. But again, Tyson, the longer he stays in the game, the more dangerous I think he is.
I agree.
So if Rob gets back in, do they work together?
I would. I mean, I think they have to.
They have to, right?
I think they have to. I don't know if Rob wants to take Tyson with him to the finals, but to get him to, at least further in the game, like I said, Rob will buy an idol. We're assuming Rob gets in, buys an idol. Tyson's still there. He's going to work with Tyson. So that gives him a little, and plus he can use Tyson as a shield too.
I think that's when you also try to get Tyson out of the game. You keep him around until you're getting close to, I think, when there's 7 or 6 players left, because you want the person who returned from Edge of Extinction first out so that they can't work with the next person that's coming back in.
Right. You would think that was going to happen, but
so easy watching from home.
Exactly. I mean, I have all the answers sitting there, but
exactly.
Yeah,
it's coming. It's interesting season. Like I said, it is sad that all the old school players are gone, except I guess now Tyson's back. But
well, one of them even said, "Is this real?" I think it was you all. Are we the older players? Are we just not playing the same game as they're playing, or something like that? And he said,
right.
I hope that's not the case. Are they just better at this than us? Well,
no, I think it was the one tribe that had the least amount of old school players kept losing, and they kept voting him off. Of course, Sandra led the way to get Amber voted out just because she was tied to Rob.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a bad move, but
no. And I just thought of something too. Sandra going home. Say the old school players vote in a block.
Right.
She could cost somebody $2 million, one of the old school players, by not being there.
She could.
On the jury.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. So she goes to so she doesn't quit. She goes to this challenge. She doesn't even have to really compete.
No.
She could just be like, I'm just going to sit on the bench. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And that's no skin off her nose, right?
Do you want to sit around there for 20 days just so you can give somebody else $2 million?
Yes.
I would want to decide who's going to win.
I would too. She loves control. She loves this game.
Yeah.
She loves the community. She loves her notoriety in the community. So why would she jeopardize that? Why not be part of it?
And you never know. She could get back. She could have gotten back in the game. I mean, probably not a one yesterday because she would have had to dig a hole and find her.
That one would have been tough for her.
They just have to sit on a bench and the last one sitting wins.
Yeah, She'd definitely win that one. But
5 minutes in, I'm tapping out. I can't sit anymore.
But if it comes down to say 7 old school players and 6, said if she could potentially cost someone $2 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sandra.
Anyway,
Well, I wonder maybe they'll bring that up when they WebEx the final episode, the reunion show via Zoom.
Miami Mike says she probably also likes having Ponderosa all to herself.
Well, that's actually a good question. Is she on Ponderosa? I mean, I don't watch it, but I mean, for her, the game is over. She's not even participating in the jury. Do they just send her home?
No, they keep her.
They can't send her home because what usually they do is when people are voted off, they go on some kind of trip. They can't go home because people would know that they didn't win.
They'll probably just send her to the closest whatever city there and put her up in a hotel somewhere and just let her have whatever she wants for a while.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
Golden Hermit says, I still want to know what happened to the jar of peanut butter.
Good point.
I wondered that too. Did he eat it all?
No, I was thinking it might be in his backpack.
Well, it definitely wasn't in his shorts.
No. But no, you definitely bring it, wouldn't you?
Well, that's the thing is, I wonder if, number one, could he bring it? And how do
he bought it?
If it is, it's his.
Is it something that you're keeping a secret, or are you just telling people, yeah, I bought a jar of peanut butter?
Well, if you knew that you were going to the challenge that day and they're telling you to gather up your stuff, obviously they knew where they were going. You gather up your stuff because his thought would be, I'm getting back in. What do I care if they know now?
That's true. Yeah.
They can beat me. And if you don't make it back in and they're all pissed off at you because you didn't share, you'd be like, I just got it yesterday. I was going to share. I just wanted to have some, please. Thank you.
Well, they don't even have to know. You just put it in your backpack. And you carry the backpack?
Yeah.
Did he have
where's he been hiding it the whole time?
I think he buried it.
No.
He buried it?
I don't know. But it'd be such tragedy if it had gotten like sand in it or something.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, sand in my peanut butter. No.
Then it just becomes crunchy peanut butter. What's the big deal?
Yeah. I mean, you can put chocolate in peanut butter, but not sand.
Sand doesn't really go well with anything. So.
No. And you can't. It's like rabbits too. Sand. It's like, okay, look. I just thought it was a little pinch. Now that the whole thing's covered with sand. Anyone's been to the beach knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I had things where like there was like one car that I didn't even take to the beach. It hadn't been to the beach in probably 4 or 5 years. Still, you could find sand in it.
Sunshine Breeze said, if I was him, I'd trade it to poverty for the idol nullifier. But I think didn't she lose it when she came out of the game, or did she get to keep it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, they never really touched upon that.
No.
Did anybody else have anything that's over there? I'm trying to think that they didn't use it.
I can't see like when let's say she wins her way back in. I don't think that she's going to then still have the idol nullifier to use. So I think once you're voted out, you lose whatever you had on you.
Sunshine Breeze says she had it on the edge.
Oh, did she? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, that would be.
They never tell us.
If it's yours, it's yours. They're not making you give it away to someone. You're out of the. Jeff always says you have it. You're out of the game, but you can get back in the game.
Right.
So, yeah, that's fair.
You just had to give up your tokens.
Yeah. Did they show who Wendell gave his to?
Gave it to Michelle and Nick.
Michelle and Nick.
Which I think with Michelle. I think Michelle, it was part of the settlement. He had to give her 50%.
But how did he have 2? Do we know? Did I miss something?
He didn't he trade for? How did he have 2? He must have won something where.
Because they still haven't given anybody over there really that much of an opportunity to find them.
No, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out this whole token thing.
Yeah.
Again, I hope next season, or whenever they come back and play, just have tokens. Let's don't have 500 idols, nullifiers, all the. I can't keep track.
But like, how many tokens? Like a lot of different tokens, like hidden here and hidden there, and
I don't know. It just
turn them. You can find them.
I think I think anytime you win a challenge as a group, each person gets a token. All right, and then with individual immunity, you get a token. You can probably find them, do something. Golden Hermit says, "I don't like the tokens; they can go." I think it's we just haven't seen the tokens.
I think it's interesting.
Work.
Yeah,
they haven't. They haven't been the game.
Let's see them change the game. You're
No,
right.
It's actually hurt people. So
right, but I think it's an interesting new element that we could see play out in interesting and new ways.
Just whatever they do, if they keep the idols, I say this every year, every season, don't make it where they just laying around. They have to earn the idol. They have to somehow earn it.
Or you know how they sometimes have idols that have two parts, like you have to give part away?
Right.
How about make all the idols multiple parts, that you have to find the multiple parts, or find someone who has the other part of your idol?
Or like I suggested last season, where if you go out looking for it, you find something that says you lose a vote.
Oh yeah, there's a consequence.
You get punished at your next tribal, you lose a vote. So you know that's out there going, oh crap, that might be an idol, it might not be an idol. If I'm desperate, yes, I'll go out and look for one, but if not.
I still like your idea of making another player your immunity idol.
Yeah.
So then you have to try to keep that player in the game.
All right. Go ahead.
That Wendell had his, right? Because everybody had one.
Yeah.
And then Michelle gave him the poverty token, the one that poverty.
Okay.
But okay.
I thought he gave Michelle a token before that. Again, there's so many complications.
We'll keep transferring that token back and forth to each other.
Bring me back the old school where there was just players playing. They either got voted out or they didn't, and I didn't have to keep track of 500 different things going on. Because I honestly can't remember the stuff that's. There's just too much going on.
Well, on the Survivor wiki page for this, they have like a whole chart that says how many tokens each person has, what different advantages. They keep track of it for you. So, but I didn't look today before, so my bad.
One job to do.
Way to prep.
I know.
JP would have done it.
No, he didn't. I worked today.
I was too busy doing pieces of art on my bed sheets.
I saw that. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty interesting. Yeah.
It's like those sequence pillows. You just kind of fuzz it this way or that way. All right. Well, I expect to see a new piece every day.
Not going to happen.
Golden Hermit says, new twist. We're going old school like season 1. I still say that's how they should have played this season. It should have been old. If you want to do something new, just have the tokens, because no one has played with the tokens before. But you have these old school players coming in with the idols, and a lot of them admitted they didn't know how to. They haven't watched the game since then. I know, but still, it's if you want to have a level playing field, just have no idols, or you have the tokens where they have to buy an idol.
I think this would have been the perfect season 40, where they're celebrating 40 seasons. They're celebrating with all winners cast. It's like a big, round of applause to themselves. That would have been the perfect time to say, we're going to go back to season 1 and we're going to do it like that. And heck, let them bring their luxury items too. Why not?
Because I think with all the players you have so many great players in the game that. Again, I like to see the players play and how they're working. Like you said, when they had the tribe swap screwed the older players, old school players. They were all seem to be on the short end of the stick as far as the. You
can tribe swap, but just keep it still tribe swap 2 tribes back to 2 tribes. When they split in 3, somebody always gets screwed because you got one tribe that doesn't even have a shelter or anything yet. So midway through the game, you're starting from scratch. That's hard for those people.
Also, you've seen it before where they have tribe swaps where the person who is like sitting on top suddenly is on the bottom and they get voted out. You're like going, well, that's not fair.
Yeah. But if you had 2 tribes and you shuffle everyone up and you have 2 tribes again, chances are you're not going to be the only one from your original tribe in the new one,
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more fair.
Sunshine Breeze asks, who's in trouble next week? I think Adam is in trouble next week, not Nick.
I don't think they think Adam is. I think they think they're on to Adam and that he's not a huge threat.
I just think he's a pain in the neck around camp, and my theory is because he can't play the game that he's played in the past, where he's like the puppet master. Nobody's working with him. They don't trust him, so they're just leaving me around because he's not a threat to challenges. I mean, I'm scared. I mean, Michelle did take a hard fall, but Adam is either he's playing the game that bringing a target. I'm terrible at the challenges. Keep me in the game. Don't vote me out. But I think Adam could be voted out next week.
You think?
But he's not part of any. We had 3 votes last week. But I think if Jeremy loses, I'd go after Jeremy.
Or Denise still because of her.
Denise.
Her resume. Either one of them is good. Are they going to continue to do first one guy, one girl?
I don't think so. No, I think that was just the first time. They always do it the first time, right?
Or just go with what Tyson was suggesting by kind of getting rid of just the people who are kind of
maybe Michelle's a target because Michelle wasn't in on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike C's got kind of a little spoiler there. Do we want to say? Could be spoilery.
Yeah, let's say it.
Okay.
He
says
potential spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Mike C says that Jeff said next week's episode is better than this one, which would equaling voting out Adam next week, which would be obvious after he just got 3 votes. So I think Mike's saying that would be too obvious, so that wouldn't be better than this week.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it doesn't have shock value.
So it's going to be a blindside. One we don't see coming.
But I know what's going to happen. I've already got my picks locked in. I'm going to change what I've got picked. And then who I originally picked is going to get voted out. It happens every time.
No, that's what Jack does.
But I got my picks in on time.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Anyway.
No,
do we want to talk about the how it went last week with the
league? With
the league. I know I'm drawing a blank on the fantasy league.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Overall, for the episode, JP came out overall on top of everyone.
Really?
Yeah.
JP cheated.
I did.
I think you had a lot of time to sit at home and think and plan and really ponder this. And 795 points in one episode.
How many points?
795.
Holy crap, JP.
That's like more than he had the first 4 episodes combined, I think.
I got 5 out of the 6. The only pick that I didn't get was I had Kim winning immunity. So when it came down to Kim and Denise, I didn't want Denise to go home. So I was hoping that she would win immunity. But
so you rooted against yourself.
I rooted against myself. Yeah, I basically bet the place in the show.
No, you did real good.
Yeah.
Mike said JP made a birthday wish to get all his picks right.
Finally came true 3 weeks later.
And you didn't forget to put them in, and they were all in. They were all good. So, he did really well. Jack, you were not on the bottom. You did better than Got. So that's always a good thing.
That's easy.
That's always a good thing. But Kelly totally forgot to put hers in. Everyone else remembered. JP's at first for the week, and then Randy. Well, here, let's give our overall stats for so far in the entire league. Okay, we got Jack still in last place, but
I'm in last place.
Yeah, because of the 2 weeks.
So I went from first to worst.
Yeah.
Because I started out in first.
You were first the first week.
Yeah, I don't treat like JP.
Yeah. And then Got's right above you there. And then Callie, and then Maggie, and then Carol, and then Ro. And JP's in third, Randy's in second. I'm still in first place. I don't know how that's happening. Yeah, no, it's like that. You're right. JP, you're like what,
I'm climbing the Tony ladder.
You're 180 behind Randy, so
you're just going under the radar.
Exactly.
Right. You're just under the radar.
Maybe's like, just make him not expect too much, then they don't notice you.
If I didn't get a 0 that week 2 when I put my picks in and didn't get anything right,
that sucks.
I have a cool second place right now.
All right, if you have to say right now who goes home next week? Well, not home. They go back to Edge of Extinction.
If they're smart, it's going to be like a Denise.
Jeremy, maybe.
Denise or Jeremy are probably the 2 that I would go with.
I think Jeremy has enough people on his side, though, they won't vote him out yet.
But, Miami might giving me the insight that there's a potential shocker. I don't know.
Or just said it's good. Somebody gets played who maybe played someone, so maybe it's Denise.
Yeah.
She gets comeuppance when she's played.
I agree with Golden Hermit. Agree with you that I think first time she loses, I think she's out.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would think so, just because they were all like, she's got a resume, but you never know. They were all drinking too at the.
Will there be more idols now since the merge?
Yeah, there should be, right?
So maybe she'll find one. Maybe that'll be the shocker. Maybe everyone's going to vote her out again, like they did with Sandra, and she uses her idol in a smart way and saves herself.
Maybe Denise drank so much that she has to be medically evacuated from the game. That would be a shock.
Now she's all of a sudden a lush.
I drank too much of it. I'm out cold. You gotta stay away from that, because who was that one player? He was used card, real old school, like the 4th or 5th season. What was his name? He drank, and then and he was talking about how much money he had, and his wife sent a video of it, like he had a Corvette and all this different stuff. They got to see videos or something like that. But he drank, but he ended up winning. But he ended up winning, and it's like the 4th or 5th season. I'm drawing a blank. I can picture his face. He had long hair and really good player, but he got drunk, and he thought, Brian, thanks, Miami Mike. Brian, he almost cost himself the game because he started bragging about how much money he had and all this different stuff, and he got really watched
that season. No wonder it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
I know who you're talking about, because every time because he came back and played again, right? And I remember going, I don't even know who this guy is, because I just didn't watch that season.
Well, there was some lady on there that was so upset after they killed the chicken that she buried the bones of the chicken. She really was upset they killed the chicken.
Was that same season?
That same, if I remember correctly, yeah.
That was Survivor Thailand.
Owned a car dealership.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which means salesman, which means believes his own BS.
I guess he also did like soft porn movies or something like that.
What?
So I think that came out afterwards.
They didn't send that video out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pick me for Survivor. Anyway. Yeah, so you have to be careful. You can't be drinking. I as much as you want to have a drink, and I wouldn't touch it. I'd be like,
you just barely sip it.
That's why
food, carb load.
Miami Mike said, I think he was banned on the list of players that won't come back. He got in trouble for shooting an animal or something. Or was it domestic violence?
Oh, maybe.
He had a mullet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carol says, especially on empty tummies like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you read that article that I posted about how they go to the bathroom?
I have not read that yet. The poop. Colleen was going to do it, but we ran out of time last night.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to knowing how. Don't they go in the ocean now and just poop?
What did they say? Come on.
No, they said. I mean, yeah, some of them do ocean poop, but others just do it on the beach. There's an interesting part where they talked about how they're supposed to have like a designated area that's their poop area, but one of the seasons they were just going all over the beach, and production was complaining because they'd walk on the beach to go and shoot something, and they'd be stepping in it.
Yeah. Well, and they want to keep them safe also. And if they're going all over, that's not even safe for the health of all the people that are out there, regardless of whether they're stepping in or not.
You know, instead of building a swing,
Yeah.
dig a big hole, make a toilet seat, and just have it there. I mean, just right.
Extra credit if you make a bidet.
Yeah, exactly. Have the water where the waves come, comes up and the flush.
Like some sort of Swiss Family Robinson thing that just comes up.
Well, you've been to the beach. You always got that where the water comes and shoots through the rocks. There you go.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah. The professor can make a radio work with 2 coconuts.
Yeah.
Okay, Professor.
Anyway, so who was our player of the game?
Tyson.
It's just for
Got to be Tyson
because he didn't get a vote, and he kind of swayed the people.
He stayed in. He didn't get a vote. He came back,
and he got back in the game. Yeah, I got to go with Tyson.
Yeah,
and his peanut butter strategy worked. He had energy.
Yeah, he had energy.
So
I'm craving so badly.
But that was so close that challenge with him and Rob.
Or they cut it to make it look super close.
I think it was very close. I mean, I don't know if it was, a half a second win, but I think it was very close. I would have loved to have seen, considering Yule had to dig his way out, I would have loved to have seen Yule just make that comeback right there.
Yeah.
If he had an advantage, he probably wins, right?
Oh yeah.
He probably would have won.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he got stuck at that one spot where he's the ball was there, but yeah.
Where you have to kind of like jerk it the other way to kind of make it,
Yeah, because we're assuming Boston and Rob's going to get back in, but Yule's a good choice to get back in too.
He is. They'll vote him back out though.
Maybe Mike said Sophie because she figured out the big threat guys were trying to join together as the MVP of the game. I can see that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the way they were editing it, it looked like Rob was steadily gaining on Tyson. And so I kept thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to win. He's going to win.
Yeah. And he's so calm.
Yeah.
That to me would be a frustrating challenge. Because you have to, it's like, Anyway.
You have to balance, you have to figure out the ropes. Yeah, I see Golden Hermit said she wanted Amber to magically pull that. I don't think Amber ever made it to the snake puzzle.
No, she was probably still digging, wasn't she?
I think she was
digging, and then they had to untie the thing, right? Didn't they?
Right.
At the end there, they showed her, and she was at the beginning, and she said, "Oh, did Jeff say go?"
Isn't that bad? Come on now.
Oh, come on, Amber. She's won $1 million.
She's an excellent wingman.
Okay, I think that we had quite a few people to chat, and I kind of got distracted here reading the chat all the time. But
yeah, sorry.
She got it right as Tyson. It was done. And Mike C. Rob had 4 kids. He's never pulled out. So,
hey, they can have more than 4. Come on, obviously.
Yeah. They're getting up there in age, aren't they?
Oh no, Amber looks like she could still have a couple more.
She looks young, but Rob's looking old.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Guys can have babies into their 80s.
That's true.
Really?
Exactly. There's still a chance for you, JP.
So you got that going for you, JP. Just keep decorating the cover on your bed. That's a good.
He is still there.
And if you have them in your 80s, then you can just go live at the old folks' home. You never even have to do anything.
No.
You don't even have to raise them.
You have someone change your diaper, change the baby's diaper. It's a win-win, JP.
I do not have a diaper fetish.
Golden Hummer says Amber is ageless. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she looks great.
All right. I think that's all I got. Again, thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. We'll be back next week, same time, same bat channel. And again, it makes it more fun to have more people in the chat, except I get distracted because
we get distracted, but they give us lots of good feedback, so I love it.
Right. So, anything else? Any final thoughts?
Oh my gosh. Men can have babies until 12 hours after death? What?
What? Well, that's something you don't learn every time on a Survivor podcast. Men can have babies until 12 hours after death.
Could effectively marry a man who then dies on his deathbed. She could still get a sample and be pregnant before, so that she can go and take the whole will.
I would like to know how that.
I'm writing a book now. It's going to be my new plot point.
Wow, I did not know that.
Pleasure Ranch can have a different story arc.
There you go. I got to start working on it. Your body makes sperm until after 12 hours after death.
That seems excessive. Why would nature even do that?
Mike says that's hard work.
Yeah, it is.
What if right after death, though, you're just not in the mood?
I got a headache.
I think you're unable to get consent or lack of consent.
I'm sure Abe Lincoln would have said that. I got a headache. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mary Todd.
You gave it a shot.
It's too soon. It's like 150, longer than that.
He is the most beloved president of all time.
Yeah, I didn't say I could have said Kennedy. I went with I went with Lincoln. Jeez.
Obviously, it's not too soon. But
if you ever ran into Jackie Onassis at a party, would you ever play that? Where were you when? No. Do you remember where you were?
No, you would tell her, I remember where you were.
Do you remember where it was? Do you remember what was on you? Anyway.
Oh, God. Do you remember what you were wearing? Oh, this is so bad.
Golden Hermit said it can be taken out by a medical professional.
Exactly. And that's when you get yourself knocked up so you can swoop in there and steal all the inheritance from all his older kids.
I guess that was a plan from Anna Nicole Smith, right? Remember, she married that guy who was like 90 years old.
Yeah, but she didn't get pregnant by him, so I wondered maybe that was her plan.
Maybe that was her plan. Mike says 155 years is too soon, Jack.
It is.
Yeah, okay, I apologize.
Damn it.
Anyway.
No, Lincoln didn't have kids after his death, but he did travel all around the country.
By train, right?
Yeah, they took his dead body all over because everyone wanted to show their respects. And in that age, there wasn't really refrigeration or any that's
he had to be pretty ripe.
Yeah, they used to they would prop him up by a window on the train and they would do a weekend at Bernie's.
Wave as they go by. Oh my gosh.
They probably salted him, right? Didn't they preserve his salt?
So let's say it's 3 months after he's dead, but he's coming to your town. Are you like, yeah, I'm running down there to see the dead body?
Well, they didn't show the body, did they?
That was the whole point, wasn't it? That he was laying gate for everyone to come and show respects.
Strangely enough, it cost $5 to see.
Probably. I don't know.
Did it go through the South? Because I can't imagine that being too popular.
Well, there were states in the South still then.
I know there's states, yeah.
So they probably didn't come to see him though.
Wonder if they have tour T-shirts.
You saw Lincoln's dead body and all I got was this stupid shirt.
People doing drawings of selfies.
I was there. See? So you can see his head. It's right back there. It's way back there. Oh, gosh.
It was like people have memories showing up on their Facebook for 155 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I was there. Okay, yeah. I was watching something on YouTube. It was it to tell the truth? Not to tell the truth.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The last guy who was at the assassination.
Yeah, he was a kid.
Yes,
he was 5 years old in the Ford Theater. What's my line?
What's my line? Yeah,
and they got it right, but the guy was pretty old, and I guess he had fallen down in the hotel, so he was all beaten up, all black and blue. But yeah, it was pretty. I go, God, that was in the 50s. That TV show. I'm saying, God. So he was there when. Yes, I do know this fun fact that John Wilkes Booth's brother saved Abe Lincoln's son's life.
I'd heard
he fell into a train track and he pulled him out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
After his brother had killed?
No, before. This was before.
Before?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The elderly gentleman that you're talking about from What's My Line, I think he died like 2 weeks later after that was recorded.
So he didn't get to spend his $80?
Okay,
No.
but here's the thing. In that day and age,
Yes.
you could lie. Like, how did they check? They couldn't Google you. They couldn't check out if you're really.
He had the ticket. He had the ticket stub.
Get the ticket stub.
And he had John Wilkes Booth sign it.
But you could lie back then and be, in your 80s and say, "Yeah, this is my 100th birthday." Who's gonna argue with you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. How do we know for sure that he was there? Because there's no video. Again, drawing him a selfie.
I mean, back then people used to move to another town and change their name, and no one would ever find them.
Right.
You could. So
you still had the playbill.
You still had the playbill. It was signed and everything. Yeah.
I was sitting under Lincoln, and some of his blood fell on me. So.
Oh, geez.
I have the DNA to prove it. So
right, gotta wait like another 150 years. We could do DNA.
Yeah, I guess they didn't have DNA sampling in 1950, did they?
No,
I don't know. Yeah, he could have been lying, but I thought it was fun because I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
They probably like grilled the guy to make sure he knew everything. Asked him questions that only he would know. Like who shot Lincoln.
Have you ever seen the movie Hateful Eight?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so in that movie, there's Samuel Jackson, and he was walking around saying he's got the letter from Lincoln, and the whole movie, everyone's like, "Oh, you got a letter from Lincoln? You got a letter from Lincoln?" He could have been just a guy like that. Yeah, I was there with me when I was a kid. I'm just saying, but anyway.
So now this poor guy who got $80.
$80.
Because another $20. It
survived a massacre and gets $80.
Yeah.
Well, for appearing on a game show in 1955.
Yeah, $80. That's like a month's pay.
Was it?
Like, he probably did. Yeah, the average person I think only made like $5,000 a year, something like that.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what year it was because I've been doing a lot of history watching lately. So anyway, so I watched John Adams again. I've seen that like 100 times. And I still say that Abigail Adams and Thomas Jefferson had an affair.
He liked ladies that couldn't say no.
I mean, literally, they were apart for forever. And also, she secretly would sent Thomas Jefferson like 40 letters. They corresponded back and forth together.
I watched part of that, but I never finished it, so I should probably watch it at some point. We like Giamatti in this house.
Yeah.
That guy, that was 1956. What's My Line? That guy that you saw was born in 1860.
Oh, okay.
Unless he couldn't prove it. What do I know?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have birth certificates or anything back then, so everything was based off of him saying that.
How do we know he was born in 1960?
Oh, it says right here on Wikipedia that the guy never lied.
He was as honest Abe, huh?
Yeah. Miami Mike says $80 could buy you so many Lincoln Logs.
In the 50s, yes, a lot of Lincoln Logs.
Now they're expensive.
Now they are expensive, yeah.
Just little wooden blocks of stuff. All right. On this note, I think it's time to say goodbye to all our friends.
We did all the things, right?
Yes, we did it.
And it's time to go.
Yes, time to go. We'll be back next week. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.